Can you say hard hats, folks? Hard hats, lunch pails, steel-toe boots?
Anything short of a championship this year is a failure.
Look at this boomer right here.
You've just got so much talent here.
Somebody said we need to apologize for Jaylen.
Can I call it John? What are we apologizing for? What did we say? What did we do?
Outro in the works.
Yeah, be on the
Being
lookout
told.
for outro. That means
Yeah.
we won't get cut off on YouTube anymore.
Yes.
All of our outros, and I watch them all back, and we never actually say goodbye to everybody on the show because we always get cut off.
Yeah.
The live show we do, I think, but not on the YouTube version. Anyways,
Yeah. Anyways,
outro in the works.
somewhere on this planet, there are two people that could spend the next hour talking about basketball with this game. We are not those two people.
I was gonna say, where's he going with this? Not us.
It's not us. If you're looking for 60 minutes of deep analysis on this particular program, on this particular game, you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. You might get some Gerard Mayo
Get a
talk.
few.
You might get some Pascal Siakam talk.
Not from Joe. Not from Joe, though.
Not from
But
Joe.
from us, you will.
No, not from Joe.
You get
might
some Mayo, little Siakam,
Yeah,
little Wemby talk. We'll mix in Wemby
Yeah,
talk.
you might get pie talk.
Might get some pie talk.
Yeah, you might get pie talk.
We're at like a lull in the cooking season. It's like stews and like get out the slow cooker. You know what I mean?
You would think so, but I have a new project.
Do you?
Yes,
Save that.
I will. But it's about wrapping things. Like
I'm all about wrapping things.
empanadas, dumplings, things like that. That's my new
Okay.
project. I'm trying homemade dumplings, pot stickers,
You're getting
empanadas.
Okay, so you're getting into like the flaky, crusty stuff here.
No, but not those are more doughy. But yes, empanadas could be a little flaky and crusty. I'm getting into that.
How's it going?
I'm saying that's my new project. That's what I'm going to start working
Oh, okay.
on.
It's like you're not doing like people who are doing like sourdough bread. Like that's old now. We're on to pot stickers.
I'm doing something different. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I like that.
Yeah, doing something different. But yeah. Joe doesn't like talking about a team that has owned him this year getting better. That's cool. But we'll talk about it.
Team that's owned him this year. Oh, Indy. Yeah.
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 We'll talk about it.
Oh, we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah. But we will start with the game, and I guess
Here it is, John. This is what you're making.
ravioli is also one of the things I'm talking about as well.
Spanakopita. How do you say that?
Spanakopita.
Yeah.
I make that all the time. That one's easy for me.
Figured.
That one's in the wheelhouse. That one I don't need it. But we're not starting with the cooking show. We'll start with tonight. Our second look at Wemby, so it's not like as exciting as the first time through because it was like, wow.
I bet you more people watched it tonight though. Earlier time slot, home game. I think more people are probably saw him tonight than they did the first.
Yes. I don't know who this question is being asked of, but we'll get into our hobbies. Jimmy's a musician. We all like to play a little basketball from time to time.
Do you?
I used to love to play basketball. You know my story.
This is a hobby. Jeez, I mean, this takes up 3 nights of my week.
I suffered a stress fracture in my foot, and I couldn't play. I was playing 3-4 times a week.
Wow.
And it never healed right. It's the Bill Walton injury, navicular stress fracture.
Bill Walton, I imagine, has been able to mask the pain in many ways.
Yeah, Jimmy's a singer. I'm a baker. But
we should do a craft fair this summer, John.
I'm not even that good at cook. I just like to cook. I'm all right. Jimmy's a very good singer though.
Thanks, so. Well, you haven't even. I've been trying to get you to come to a gig for a year. Guys got more excuses than I don't know. I have nothing.
Guys got more kids than everybody on the Garden Report combined. That's the problem.
True. That is true. Bring the kids.
Yeah.
Jimmy's a all ages show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, let's talk basketball.
Starting with tonight, a clear like tune-up, rest-up sort of game. Derek White and Porzingis both sat with fake injuries. And
Which is, I will say this, shout out to the Garden Report on Monday for calling that Derek White needed a night. He's had a bit of a rough stretch.
shooting
And we
wise,
said he's
for sure.
probably due for a break.
Yeah.
One of those fake injury breaks.
Yep. So yeah, he was due and he got it. And I mean, injuries are bullshit when, well, number one, they go on the injury report as questionable, and then they're completely removed from it for the next game. Number two, Joe said after the game, they're not missing more than a game. So these were maintenance or rest days, and that's totally fine. And that's what we got tonight. But there's still more than enough here. I mean, the Spurs are playing with, they're a bad team playing with half a deck, so they are going to, whatever. But we did get a Luke Kornet start, which means Bobby's going to come in here and start saying some shit.
Yeah, Bobby's on. I'm going to have the Tangway button ready because it was Kornet versus Wemby tonight, according to Bobby, and everybody else didn't really even matter.
That's the story, really. Kornet's the story. I'm not going to get into it, but anyway. Yeah.
Oh, how about this super chat?
You're being asked to go play gig in Portland.
Portland, Maine or Portland, Oregon? I'd hate to show up at the wrong one. I'll go to Maine. I'm actually trying to get I'm trying to get to like there's a couple gigs I'm trying to get into up in like southern Maine right now. I'll go up to Portland, dominate up there for a bit. How about this? We got to find these clips and Amit, let's find these clips. I would love to put these clips on the show.
First of all, Bobby has his own YouTube channel.
Yeah, what channel is this?
What channel? I know nothing.
It's an experience. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to find that. We need to find those clips and we need to cut them, Amit, if you're listening. Yeah. Thank you for the super chat, Deflategate. 12. Yeah. Deflategate, all-time moment in my life.
Yeah. I just blocked somebody for spamming the chat. Sorry, buddy.
Don't apologize. What they say? Let everybody know. No spamming.
No spamming, guys. Get your comment in and then move off. Also, don't be mean to each other. Be nice to each other.
We'll say this. Will you give him a chance to come? Is it more of a timeout situation or is he just banished for life? I don't know if we should banish him for life.
I'll think about it.
Okay.
Please replace the beginning of your intro. Annoying to hear Fart Boy with his idiotic hard hat. That's what?
Dude, you just called me Fart Boy?
I didn't mean to. I was just reading that one a lot. What?
Oscar Rosales just called me. He's calling me Fart Boy because he thinks that I farted on the show.
And Hard Hat Boy.
Sounds like he's watched a lot of this Garden Report.
And we did talk about it. He knows all your greatest hits.
Yeah, but he apparently doesn't like any of them.
Yeah, that's okay. So Jimmy, I'll ask you anything. I got one thing that popped for tonight, and that one thing and one thing only, and I'll get into that. Anything for you?
Nothing really. I mean, well, Jordan Walsh popped. We got our Walsh, our first Walsh highlights of the year, and it was probably a shot that he's not going to want to watch over and over again, but that's okay. Other than that, nothing really popped. I mean, I liked the way Holiday played again. He's starting to string a couple of games together here. Again, and we talked about it Monday, him showing up in Brown's absence on Monday, kind of continuing that trend tonight, not with Brown out, obviously, but, the Celtics were without White tonight. So if it's not, one starter, it's a different one. But Holiday's stepping into that role. And then with Porzingis out, I thought this was a good win. Listen, everyone knew they were going to win this game. They could afford to sit a couple guys, but guys just being able to step up, I guess, has been the theme of this season so far. And I think tonight was another example of that. Not that I think anyone was ever concerned, but that's kind of, I guess, the thing that stood out to me a little bit.
Holiday 10 of 13 his last two games shooting the three after like a kind of a not a down-ish, but a little dip.
He hit 6 of 7 tonight. That's unreal.
6 of 7, 4 of 6 the other night. He had a little dip. He had a couple of bad games. Not terrible. But in December, scorching hot from 3. I mean, but what I liked about Holiday tonight, is like it kind of just proves again, like he's doing this because he's supposed to. Like he's not scoring as much because that his role on the team is just not to score as much. But it feels like he's kind of settling into the just get open and hit your threes sort of guy, which is pretty good on this team because if he's going to hit him at a 40+% clip like he's been doing, that's great. But also just kind of shows that on a night when you're down 2 starters, if you do need scoring, Holiday can step up and be one of your 320-point guys. And that's what he was tonight. And I just think he's got that in his bag whenever he wants it. And that's it. And so that's my only observation for tonight. We're on to
so we
talk.
both had the same observation then. It was
Holidays, I think the only takeaway. I mean,
did you think Brown looked all right? I mean, he missed Monday with.
I think all of them looked fine and looked good and did what they had to do and played at about 75% effort, which was more than enough. I actually thought their defense, when they needed it to be, was pretty stifling in that first half. I thought they were serious, and in the third quarter, they were just trying to. I mean, none of the starters should have played in the fourth, so they mailed it in a little bit in the third. But it is what it is.
Yeah, it was never a situation. It was just Spurs made a little bit of some sort of run there. But yeah, I honestly thought the Celtics should have benched their guys a lot sooner than they did.
Yeah, and I'll give you this one too. Brissett, I think, has now firmly settled into the role where he's going to be that guy who's going to get those wing minutes, and I think they can trust him because he's he's the energy guy. He's a rebounder.
Guys out tonight too, though. Don't forget. I mean,
but I think he's that guy. You're that guy, pal.
He's that guy, but he's not him. He's just that guy that's
gonna he's not him, but he's that guy who's gonna come in.
He's that guy. He's not that
guy.
He's not that dude. He's just that guy. Oh, that guy. Yeah, he comes in every once in a while and he like just
Jimmy
does the thing.
You've been told, Amit. We've been told how to find these. Okay.
I didn't know he had a YouTube channel.
You know what? I'm starting my own YouTube channel. I've decided tonight.
Sort by all this video. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be like
I am
17-year-old Bobby or something. Just like what?
And yes,
doing layup drills.
I think this is correct. Somebody tweeted it the other day that he might corner threes. Jrue Holiday, I think, is leading the league.
Wow. Bobby can tell us.
Yeah,
Bobby will tell us that. We'll wait. I like that stat. He should take more then.
Yeah.
That's Horford's spot, the corner three.
He loves it.
And that was the show. Thanks, guys.
That's it, guys. That's all we got.
Are we back Friday?
Yeah.
Honestly, though. What do you think of Wemby, John? What do you think of Wemby?
So I know you and I are Wemby. I'm not going to say detractors, but Wemby.
No, I'm not a Wemby detractor.
Well, no, you are a Wemby detractor. I was a Wemby skeptic.
I was a Wemby skeptic.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was more, I wasn't ready. I wasn't buying the hype ahead of time. So I was a skeptic. I don't know where you're getting. I don't know where you're getting detractor from, though. Definition of skeptic, yes. But I think since I'm no longer a skeptic, I'm seeing is believing.
What's funny is like
Would you trade the Spurs roster for the Celtics roster?
Let's just get in a heartbeat.
Let's just get down to it.
Not even close. Not even question.
I think you would. Part of me actually thinks you would.
No, only the Pelicans.
Yeah, true.
What's funny with Wemby is like they only let him play 25 minutes.
Kid gloves on still, yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's under 30, and what's funny is like his per 36 averages are like 30 points a game. I mean, it's if he was playing 36, 37 minutes a night, he'd be one of the top 5 scorers in the league.
He'd be first, second team guy.
It's like he's scoring 20 points a game in 28 minutes right now, and he's shooting like garbage from 3. That was always a concern. Is the shot looks really pretty, but it didn't go last year in France. And we kind of had this conversation last time they played them too. He's still shooting at that same level, 29. Now it's over a long enough kind of timeline.
But he's also a rookie. I mean, like theoretically, that
shot's gonna fall because again, he's a good free throw shooter. He's shooting 80% from the free throw line. He's got a really good stroke, and he's gonna be able to pick and pop, and that percentage is gonna come up. But I mean, my goodness, dude, he's 20-10, with 20 and 10 with 3 blocks in his rookie year. What's Sherrod saying? He doesn't have a link for the show. Amit.
Sherrod's telling you that? You didn't tell me that.
Amit, you got it?
He's got it.
Put some balloons in my image if that's the case.
Give him a thumbs up.
So Amit, the Bobby stuff is real. I need a clip.
I need a clip too. Man. What a find.
Poor Amit's down there like doing actual work, and I'm here like he's shooting press conferences and trying to do stuff. And I'm like, get Sherrod on the show and give me the Bobby YouTube video.
we need the Bobby highlight reel for sure.
We're gonna talk about Siakam. No question about it.
Let's surprise Bobby with it. Once Bobby comes on, nobody in the chat say anything. Let's just try to ask him if he can break down a highlight for us, and then it'll be his.
Bobby, tell us what happened on this play.
Yeah. Oh, man. No, Wemby's the real deal. I don't even know we should check FanDuel for the odds on Rookie of the Year, but I imagine it's like minus 10,000 at this point.
No, because they're calling, the other tall dude.
Oh. Okay, but he's still going to be the favorite, though, Wemby.
No.
Who am I missing? Who am I forgetting?
Second year guy, OKC. I'm also losing my mind right now. What's his name? Jesus Christ. What's wrong with me? Help me.
A rookie?
Oh my God, the tall guy. I'm just dying right now.
I don't know, man. I don't know what you're saying. I'm gonna let you drown for a minute.
You're not gonna do it?
Chet Holmgren?
Yes, Holmgren. For the love of God, my mind is gone. Holmgren is he's got the Ben Simmons Rookie of the Year thing. He's an overwhelming favorite.
Oh, right. So I didn't realize that he was being counted like that.
Yes, he is. This is funny.
That's kind of unfair.
Wemby did dunk on a hook. It was funny.
That's like the Blake Griffin stuff?
Bobby's texting us about Kornet's stat line. And just as he does that, no joke, Wemby turned around for what looked like a hook shot. And then he's like, oh, I'm just going to dunk this instead. And he just little gentle dunk right on Luke's head.
Wow, the chat's we're getting the chat a little bit behind, I guess, but I'm just seeing 1,000 messages just saying Chet.
Yeah, it was Chet.
Sorry, guys. My bad.
Even a Sherrod Blakely. Amit, did you get him the link?
Wait, can you just give him the link?
I can, but then I have to mad loud type.
Amit's clearly not listening or watching.
All right, Sherrod link. Okay.
I like how Sherrod that's in the chat. Is it actually him or is it somebody pretend? Like we have a Jayson Tatum, we have a
guys, I didn't want to look at the chat the same way I don't Google. I like to just think about stuff, and then I was also surprised that Jimmy couldn't figure it out. So I wasn't
thinking rookie at the time. I forgot that he was being considered a rookie. My bad, everybody. My bad. Anyways, regardless, Victor Wembanyama is a beast.
Yeah. So Jimmy's not a believer, but the question is like, is he gonna be like?
I'm gonna look at the odds.
Is he gonna be take over the league dominant?
He's gotta stay. I mean, the whole thing is guys that size is health. Can he stay healthy? If he can, and he only gets better, yeah, I think he can dominate the league. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few guys that he's gonna go toe to toe with, but by the time Wemby's entering his prime, Embiid's gonna be on the downside of his career.
It's Chet.
Yeah.
It's Chet.
It's Chet.
Anytime you want to help us out. Yeah.
We needed you, Sherrod.
Apologies. I typed at least 400 of those 1,000 Chet replies that you saw in the chat.
Yeah.
Well, then we're going to have to ban you like John just banned somebody earlier.
Yeah, no spamming the chat. Sherrod's gone.
Spamming.
Sherrod can be on the show, but he.
Okay,
yeah.
So rookie of the year, Chet minus 170, Wemby plus 115.
Yeah.
So there you go. Scoot Henderson plus 30,000. I don't think that's gonna happen.
No.
Would need a couple injuries.
No, I think Jaime is
He is.
is third.
He is. He's plus 15,000.
Yeah.
That didn't sound as funny though. So I just skipped that one.
No.
Jaime.
I mean,
Sherrod is banned. Sherrod is banned. Sherrod, we're trying desperately to keep this from becoming the pie show 20 minutes in, because there's not a ton to talk about, but we're kind of on the Wemby train here. Anything from the Celtics game, anything from the Celtics side of things stand out to you?
Well, the one thing that stands out to me was that Joe called off the dogs incredibly early. I mean, like literally 5 minutes into the game, you see Brissett and Peyton and all these guys that you normally don't see out there as a collective group. The only starter they had out there was like Jaylen Brown or Tatum, one of those two early on. And it was weird because you would expect to see that typically until the second half where they've got like a 15, 20-point lead. But at that point, they were up by like maybe 8 or 9. And so it was good to see Joe give those bench guys a chance to play. This was a game that, for all intent and purposes, was a glorified scrimmage. San Antonio is horrible. They are a bad team. But Wemby is special. And you've heard that's a lot. But when you see him up close and personal, you see how easy the game comes in. And the thing about him right now, he doesn't really know how to play at this level. And he still can get you 20 and 10.
Yeah.
He still hasn't figured out how to be – he still hasn't figured out just the mental side of playing in NBA. All he's going on right now is his talent. And his talent is getting him 20, 10, and 3 blocks a game.
Yeah.
He's that damn good.
He really is like, when
what's
you
he like in person, Sherrod? Super tall.
I'm like, he was doing this ball handling drill, and he was bent down. We were like eye to eye when he's bent down working on his ball handling skills. He's that damn tall. His waist comes up. Well, Jimmy, you might come up to his knee, maybe slightly above his kneecaps.
Yeah.
Like I'm like waist level. You're probably like top tier knee level.
Yeah,
maybe.
you could put Joe's way on my shoulders and would wear a trench coat and would still be short.
Yeah, like Jimmy, can you dunk on those baskets you hang on your door yet, or no?
I'm getting there. I got a little trampoline. I got a little trampoline.
Because that's what it looks like Wemby's doing. Like when you used to hang the hoop on your door and then just go around and just stand up dunk like Nerf balls.
Yeah.
Like that's basically how he plays.
No, he's ridiculous. And I talked to, remember Greg Steamer?
Of course.
You
mean the white Bill Russell or whatever Tommy called him?
Tommy will never, that's part of the Tommy Heinsohn hyperbole book.
Hyperbole Hall of Fame, no question about it.
Exactly. No, but Greg is with player development with the Spurs, and I talked to him before the game, and he said it's weird being the not tallest guy in the room. Because Greg's like legitimate 6'10", 6'11". He's always been that guy. And he's like, Wemby is like, not only is he tall, he said, but he's long. That's the thing people don't realize. He's not just 7'4". He's 7'4" with ridiculous length.
Oh no! Wow.
Wemby. He's just really, really impressive to watch him go to work up close. And again, he doesn't know how to really play the game from a mental standpoint at this level yet because everything is new to him. He's just going by sheer talent, and he's that damn good. And I really don't want Bobby to come in here talking about Luke. Luke was an easy pass for pretty much everyone that San Antonio had in the first 4 or 5 minutes. Wemby wasn't the only one that was giving Luke the business. And in fact, the only reason that San Antonio, I thought, cooled off was because they went exclusively to Wemby and they didn't go to the mismatch, which was whoever Kornet was guarding. So this was not the night the night to pop your collar by Luke Kornet. I hope Bobby doesn't come with doing that.
Oh, he already is texting some stuff comparing the two.
We did compare stat lines. It was between steals and blocks, and I will say this: Kornet had 4 steals and 3 blocks, and Wemby had no steals and 1 block. So Kornet was a much bigger presence.
Did flush one on Kornet's head though. There's got to be extra points for that.
Ugh.
No, we'll have the Tangway button ready.
So yeah, like what's funny is like you're looking at it now and you're wondering, is he ever going to be able to like dominate games? And then you can also look at it a different way and say, my God, is he going to dominate games in such a way that like it's going to be like tush push? Like they're going to start making like anti-Wemby rules.
That's
They're
what I'm
like
worried about.
of like things that they're not like they won't do because it's going to be such a cheat code that it's going to almost like I can almost see a point where he's so good that he starts to get bored and then just decides he's only shooting from 40 feet or something. Like I think when he figures it all out, he's going to be able to score with such ease from so many places that it is going to start to feel stupid because I mean, everyone jokes about Tatum being 6'10" and shoot over people, and he's
Right.
not. He's 6'8", but it doesn't matter. Like he can still go up and over most of the people he's guarding because he's long and you know he's got that high release. Imagine when Wemby can just knock those things down. It doesn't. You could have. It doesn't matter who guards him. He'll be able to score at any time from any place. It's going to be ridiculous.
I think this.
And the intelligence and the vision. He's a terrific passer. He's a good ball handler. He can do so many things. So like it might get so dumb that it's actually going to get. He could get boring to watch.
I think that the scary part about him.
Tatum is not 6'10". I have to dispel this once and for all. Brad joked about it one off season, and every Celtics freakazoid, like fanboy, ran with it. And then Brad even said afterwards, like, no, I was just messing around how he's kind of tall and, you know, who knows. He's not. He was never 6'10". Brad admitted he just said it for the F of it, and everybody ran with it forever. Anyway, move on.
No, the thing about Wemby that I think is really going to scare the crap out of teams in the future is when his body starts to fill out. Because just by simply being an NBA player, he's going to get bigger. He's going to get stronger. And right now, he's not that difficult to get off the block. Like when he tried to post up Kata a couple of times, Kata did not have too much trouble getting past him. In fact, you know, at the other end offensively, Kata just gave him a nice little shoulder and knocked his ass down and dunked on him. That's not going to enjoy that now because that's not going to be what's going to be happening in the near future. A player that young, different kind of style, but definitely when you look at the impact that he's making, it's very LeBron-like, where you look at him and just figure he's just a physical freak compared to anyone and everyone else, and it's just a matter of time before he becomes the dominant.
Is there a drum line in there, Sherrod? What's going on?
Someone's grabbing drinks.
Someone dropped all the cups.
Is what it is.
Yeah, I'm a little.
Is someone grabbing all the drinks or just one drink?
Double fisting, John. Yeah. Double fisting.
Holy wow!
You get free drinks over there.
No ice. Disable the ice machine. Okay.
A little concerned about that, Sean. I mean, like you said, if he's just going to be able to drop the ball in the hoop, you know, for the next 15 years, that's not much fun, is it? But
he's going to
make never happened before. Something's going to I'm not expecting that.
He's going to be like I find Giannis boring, you know, kind of club.
Yeah.
Anyway, real quick shout out to our sponsor. I want to say check out FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com/Boston. Get in on the action. $150 in bonus bets when you place a $5 bet. FanDuel is the official wagering partner of the CLNS Media Network and the official partner of the NFL. So get in on the action here. With NFL games this weekend. FanDuel, like we said, FanDuel.com/Boston for $150 in bonus bets when you place a $5 bet. Restrictions do apply. Let's also quickly tell you about our friends over at HelloFresh. We love ourselves some HelloFresh, and you can get in on the action right now by going to HelloFresh.com/CLNS free, where you can get free breakfast for life when you order a HelloFresh box right now. Customize your order, get whatever you want. Special menu items, constantly rotating every single week. You want to change out your proteins or your vegetables or go low carb, gluten-free, keto, whatever it is, whatever suits your diet, whatever suits your lifestyle, family style. HelloFresh gives you all the options out there. Once again, HelloFresh.com/CLNS free. Use the code CLNS free. Get free breakfast for life. Get in on the action today. What do we think? Where were we? Were we still on the Wemby train?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I kind of agree with what you said, or how it's just like, is he gonna get too good for the game? Like the way the game was designed. Like when this game was designed, nobody was anticipating 7'6" dudes like just roaming the earth and just doing this type of stuff on the basketball court. I don't think so. We'll see if they have to make any changes, but I don't think so. I think teams are going to have to just get creative. They're going to have to figure out ways to defend him. They're going to have to waste some extra fouls, play him tough, and I don't know, get him out of position the best they can.
And he's going to have to expand his game. I mean, he's going to have to start learning how to, because that's when you think about how physically impressive LeBron was when he first came to the league. Had he stayed where he was the first 3 or 4 years and didn't evolve and add to his bag, he wouldn't be the first ballot Hall of Famer that he became. He'd be a very good player, but he wouldn't be that great, head and shoulders above most, if not all, players in the league. Wemby is going to be able to do that if he continues to add things to his game. He's pretty damn impressive now, but again, he's got to get bigger. He's got to get stronger. He has to learn how to play more physical. And to John's point earlier, he's got to become a more consistent perimeter shooter, because that's a part of his game that really sets him apart from lots of guys.
I could see him someday going to like a 2 seconds in the paint instead of 3. Keep the game more fluid. Get the big dudes out of the paint. Kind of prevent them from using their size.
There aren't that many that want to do that, though, Jimmy. So I don't know if that's ever going to happen, because most of the bigs now
they
do what he
Wemby
does.
might.
They shoot.
Well, that's if he's going to shoot, I'm fine with that. I just don't want a guy who's going to stand at the rim and just drop it in all game.
He's not going to be able to do that, because he I don't think he has the core strength to do that. And
he's not going to do that.
Yeah, and for him,
then I don't care.
He's
go do your thing.
Part of the analytics era where 3 is more than 2.
Yeah,
if I make a couple of threes, that's like 3 posts.
Well, he's shooting 30%, so I'm not too concerned about.
But
it.
the shot looks smooth. That thing's coming up, and then the ability, if he ever gets a midi going, and again, just think about it. Like, you ever play on short hoops? It's much easier to knock down shots from everywhere. You know, like especially closer, because you're just basically shooting like right at it. So like he's going to be able to, like, those are going to feel like layups to him when he's shooting from 6, 8, 10 feet.
Not a layup. I see your
just
point,
going up over people. I think it's just going to be silly.
Yeah.
Double team, play physical. I mean, they got to figure out ways to deny him the ball. I mean, he's not. It's going to be difficult.
It is.
Don't get me wrong.
But
it's not going to be impossible.
No, it won't. Because the thing about him, I mean, Jimmy, when he puts the ball on the floor, he gets to like
again,
top of the key free throw line, 2 steps, and he's got a dunk.
20-10 in 28 minutes a night. And he doesn't even know what he's doing, as Sherrod said. It could.
I know.
It really, 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 really. But this is just turning into legend. What do I have for clips here? We're gonna play something. What do we want from Joe?
No, he said he's cutting it.
All right, first I'm gonna play Joe. All right, Joe. Here's Joe talking about something. Halfway mark.
Joey.
Joe Mazzulla talking about assessing the Celtics at the halfway mark. I can't wait.
I mean, I didn't really have so much of an expectation or a goal to be a certain type of thing. What I will say is we just have to stay in the space of we're really good, but we could lose any game, and we got to be really hard on ourselves. And so it's annoying to be super critical of yourself, but we got to do that. Just hold each other accountable. Doesn't mean that there won't be tough times. 41 games left. We've got a ton of tough games coming up, so I don't expect it to go our way in these next 41. But I do expect us to just stay the course, and as long as we keep an open mind to getting better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, great. Way to go.
This is who they are. I mean, that's trying to find that balance between acknowledging that you're a really good team, but trying to keep guys trying to get better. That's easier said than done, because as they continue to put more and more separation between them and the next best team in the East, complacency has a way of creeping in, where they get too comfortable. They become very laid back. They become like that team we saw way too often last year. That to me is a concern at this point. It's just getting too comfortable with your status at the front of the pack.
Yeah. What was Josue at the game tonight?
Did not see him.
Okay, but Bobby's in there.
What'd you think of that Joe challenge, Sherrod? Up like 20 points,
Love it.
the jump ball.
Love it.
Do you?
Love it. I do. I do. I just look. Joe is doing.
I want to know
so
what
many-
Pop thinks of it. We should have gone to talk to Pop.
Yeah.
I don't know if Pop would have responded to the question about that. He's got so many more bigger issues to worry about. His team's horrible.
Does Joe have any friends?
Joe Mazzulla?
Yeah, among
I
the
hope
coaching
so.
fraternity. Yeah.
I hope so.
When they're coaches, I don't know.
I would imagine so.
Bobby's his friend. He's commented on Bobby's tie. They're friends.
No, but when you think about guys like Will Hardy, for example, in Utah, who he coached with, that's someone that he consider obviously a friend. There's some other former Celtics assistants who have kind of meandered about that would qualify as well. But does he have like a ton of them? No,
No, but I mean this stuff, the Chicago Bulls blowout, like he's had a couple of challenges up big or down. Like, do people like that? I don't give a crap. I'm with you, Sherrod. I actually don't care. But when I see it, I'm like, ooh. I was like, people might not like that, buddy.
I would imagine that doesn't make nice with people who don't know you.
Yeah.
But the thing I like about Joe is he does not give a F about that. He's going to do it. And if you ask him about it, he'll let you know. I thought that was the wrong call. I challenged it. That's what I do. He's becoming very
I must challenge. The call was wrong.
But
that's not right.
Yeah, not challenging, does not compute.
I'm loving the fact that Joe, he just has I just don't give a damn what you think about me doing this about him. I like that a lot. I love the fact that he emptied the bench in 5 minutes of play and just say, you know what, Pops, I know you're a Hall of Famer, but your team is trash. And I'm going to put my end of the bench guys out here 5 minutes of the game, and we're still going to beat the shit out of you.
Yep.
And he did.
Ben Vallis, first to the floor. The ever knowledgeable Ben Vallis, first to the floor podcast. You can check it out after the game. He'll be Joe's friend. Why not?
He wants to be Joe's friend.
He'll be Joe's friend. Long distance relationship, Ben. These never work out. Okay.
Yeah.
All the way out there, all the way in Australia. That's gonna be tough for you guys, but
friendships can, you get the group text going.
I'm a little worried.
Relationships, yeah, that could be a little difficult. I guess we're not entirely sure.
It could be tough.
What Ben's asking for. Sherrod, I got a question for you.
Yo, what you got?
I was watching. I always watch KG and Pierce. They have an awesome podcast.
It's hysterical.
Whatever you want to call it, but yeah, if you're a fan of the Celtics from, that era, the KG Pierce era, those guys have a great back and forth going on. And one of the clips I saw today was them talking about how they're noticing this year's Celtics team right now has more of a killer instinct to them. They're kind of noticing a toughness, like in Tatum and Brown they mentioned, but I think just having some of the other guys out there, Holiday. Are you noticing something like that too, compared to maybe past seasons with these Celtics teams?
Oh yeah, I mean it's so obvious that this team has more of what we like to call that dog in them than these other teams of the past. I think I go back to the Minnesota game, for example, that they played here, a game that last year's team would have lost 9 out of 10 times. There's little doubt in my mind that last year's team would have lost that game, and Tatum willed them to victory. And again, he's not as consistent as I know he would like to be, and fans would like him to be in terms of that. But there's a definite, noticeable increase in him just, frankly, showing a little bit more of a killer basketball-wise than we've seen in the past. And the thing that some folks have talked about, and this is true, and Tatum kind of bristled at it, but it's the truth. That has to come from the top in order for it to seep into the team and become part of the team's DNA. When Tatum was just kind of, hands up when the call didn't go his way and all that stuff, you saw it go from him on down. You started seeing damn near everyone do that. And now that you don't see that as much, as you see him making big shots and recognizing mismatches that are his favor or recognizing mismatches that his teammates have going on, he's made a conscious effort to get the ball to them, to make the right basketball play, as Joe would like to say. And that, in turn, leads to your teammates looking to do that. So it starts with him. And I think he's finally embraced that and recognized that's how you're going to win a championship. It has to start with him. And I think that's what KG and Paul are talking about. just
Well,
the leadership recognizing what they got to do to help this team be great.
so that's the thing. It's I agree 100%, Sherrod, but we said this from like day one of training camp in the beginning of the season. What's the number one takeaway? What's everyone see? And it's like they're a lot more serious, meaning like it's a focused group. And like I think what's funny is like it has to be top down in terms of Tatum and Brown. It has to filter down from them, but it actually got to them through White, Holiday, Porzingis, Horford. The grown-ups are in the room, and and Tatum and Brown are kind of like, oh, okay, serious all the time. I got it. You know, like, okay, here we are, and now they're doing it more. So that's kind of it. Like maybe they weren't ready to be the guys who would set the tempo and the pace for everybody else and say, follow me, get on my back, boys, and all of that stuff that everybody wanted them to do. But these guys make it so it's easier for them to do it because it's not the burden of leadership as much as it is everyone around me is taking it seriously. I'm the best player on the team. I can't not at this point. And I don't think they dragged them kicking and screaming. I just think setting that foundation changed their overall mentality and kind of snapped them into focus in ways that you just talked about, which is how many games have they had this year that they lose? These chats are killing me, guys. How many games have we had this year where we're like, they lose this last year, they lose this last year, they lose this last year? There's like 6, 7, or 8. They might not lose all of them, but every one of them, you've seen them lose a game like that before. There's quite a few. And so it's completely different this year. The question is just simply going to be health and whether or not they're going to be able to hold up against the longer, bigger, the more athletic teams in those 7-game series who can really kind of get, when they ratchet up the intensity, how will the Celtics respond to it? I'd say those are the only two things. Injuries are injuries. That's across the board. Only other thing that worries me about the Celtics is they're better at basketball than everybody that they play. But athletically, there are some teams that are more athletic and might give them problems. And that could be, that could be probably the only place where I see them jamming up a little bit. But otherwise, they're just good. They fight through slumps from individual players. They fight through slumps as a team. You saw that demarcation line on the under 40% from 3-point last year. They've won several games this year when they don't shoot the ball well. So they can beat you a lot of different ways. Last year, it felt like they could only beat you when they shot more than 40% from 3. That's it. That was it. 2 years ago, they beat you with defense. Something fell. 2 years ago, they beat you with defense. Last year, they only beat you when the threes were falling. This year, they beat you in a million different ways. And I think Bobby said something. There was like, this was like however many games in a row. They're just building 30-point leads. They're just going out and croaking people too.
Right. And I think one of the big differences within the locker room is just they're embracing the fact that everyone has a certain responsibility, and that doesn't necessarily equate to leadership. Like they're past the whole leadership question and concerns. It's all about responsibility. What is your job? What the hell do you have to do to help this team win? Some nights it's Jrue Holiday being a lockdown defender. Some nights it's Jrue Holiday giving 15 points. Sometimes Tatum has to score 30. Sometimes Tatum he only needs to give you 15 or 20, but he needs to get you like 10, 12, 14 rebounds. They're figuring out what their responsibility is from night to night and not worrying about anything other than their jobs. What do I have to do to help this team win? And sometimes it obviously it changes from one game to the next, but them understanding and embracing that reality of who they have to be in order to be great, that's a big shift from where this team's been in the past couple of years.
Yeah, no doubt. We will get to Patriots. We will get to Bobby's Kornet report. We're also going to get to a special video of Bobby.
Okay. Oh boy.
Oh boy is right.
I am excited for that.
Oh boy.
How about this? DeAndre Ayton is out tonight due to icy roads. He couldn't get out of his neighborhood.
There's like maybe 5 players, and DeAndre Ayton would be one of them. That would be a reason why they wouldn't play.
That's literally it. It's being reported. I guess the team even sent people to try to help him, and he's just stranded. He just can't get out of his neighborhood.
Need to find a new neighborhood. Clearly,
that's like the Belichick, the 2009, like the Adalis Thomas, like What am I supposed to do? This isn't the Jetsons, you know?
yeah.
It's one of the great all-time quotes. This isn't the.
How about this? Here's a quote from Wemby. John Corrales tweets, Wemby, I'm playing in Boston. The floor is very special. It didn't bother me, but it is special. I mean, it's just beautiful.
It is.
Wow,
Wemby to Boston. Go ahead, Jimmy. I knew that was coming.
Not now, but we'll see. You can play on that floor over 40 times a year if you ended up.
Somehow, I don't think it'll be quite as special if you're playing on it 40 times a year. That's just me.
Wow.
There's only one way to find out, though, right, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Now, I don't really know what to expect from Jay King. I mean,
Wait.
I know
Sorry.
Wait,
What the hell
we
was
can't
that?
play that
I'm
yet.
not playing it yet.
What is that, John?
We call that a tease?
I'm already. Now you got to play it.
Yeah,
Now,
Now we
got
gotta
to
play it. We
All right.
gotta see the rest of that.
Really? I wasn't sure if that was the right one or not. That's what I wanted to say.
Well, it was. We'll wait for Bobby. We'll ask him to break it down.
Right.
I just need to see his. Will we be able to comment on it as it's happening?
It was a Bobby teaser.
Oh man, that is easy.
I gotta see that.
All right, do we watch it once?
No,
Do we watch it
no,
once?
I want to be surprised.
Really?
You want to be surprised, really?
Kinda, yeah. How long is it?
It's long.
Yeah, we should not watch
Really?
it first, then. We should.
It's a minute 30.
I mean, I'll leave it up to you guys.
Yeah. It won't show up as the clip. It's telling me it's my name. That's why I had to press play.
Oh yeah.
It's like telling me it's a guest. Just the way it loaded here. But yes. Okay.
Oh man. Now we have a little
But
anticipation.
that's
See, now
I feel bad because
don't play it. Don't play it because it'll keep everybody locked in until we play.
all right, fine.
What do you feel bad about? Bobby posted this. He must be proud of it. Why? I'm not sure, but he must be proud of it. It's on
Yeah,
his
it's
own
not like
channel.
it's a secret. I didn't pull it out of his phone.
Right. It says Bobby's on his way. All right, everyone be cool.
Be cool. Everyone, shh. Surprise!
Yeah. Surprise, you're on blast, my man.
Yeah.
Your thoughts.
Oh man.
Yeah, we will get to that. We will get to some Patriots talk. A little. Jimmy asked for it. We'll sneak in some stuff there.
Good
And we'll quickly look at the Nuggets. I know that's like a fun little test here to see. And as we said, they clearly rested up a couple of guys.
Yeah, I think no one played more than
get ready for
31
it.
minutes.
Yeah.
So they'll be well rested for the
Friday. It's a great game Friday.
That is a great game.
You going?
Yeah. Yep. I'll be here. Looking forward to it.
That was the peak of my year last year. That was the highlight of my year. You guys remember? I went to the game, rushed home, jumped on the show, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god!" That was like one of the best. That's like the best the Celtics looked all year against a really good team.
Yeah.
I did predict Nuggets in the finals last year, though. I was the
call.
guy. I
Shout
was
out
that
to you.
guy.
That
No,
was not me.
this year I said Golden State, but that was just a fun one.
Dude, tough Golden State news today.
Oof.
What's that all about?
Oh my god!
I know. We
Yeah.
had a moment of silence
Oh.
before the game, which I thought was really, really classy.
Oh, that's
for
nice
the
of them to
Celtics.
do.
Yeah.
That was crazy. We did mention also we were going to briefly talk about it, and I actually think we should talk about the Siakam thing.
Yeah.
And how concerned are the Celtics about this? Very, according to Joe Mazzulla.
Joe, I wanted to see what you thought of Pascal Siakam landing with Indiana, and this time of year, especially for teams that are kind of.
Save yourself the rest of the question. I don't really care.
But does your awareness of kind of what's going on around the league increase this time of year into year two?
No, I mean obviously I saw it. There's a TV on in the back. Guys talk about it, but it doesn't really concern me.
Love it.
Here's what I love
Bobby.
the most.
Shut up, Bobby, finishing the question.
Thank you, Bobby. That was awesome. Okay, Joe, you want to be a bully with the media and say something like that, and
There he is.
and that you didn't care. Of course you care. That's a team that just beat you with their best player,
Right.
with his legs bent in two different directions. And you have to recognize that this is a legit challenger to you and a team that plays you really hard. And they just added a big time player. So don't tell me.
They added a big time player who fits exactly what their style of play is. Like it's going to be a seamless transition for him in Indiana. That and again, knowing Rick Carlisle the way I do, having covered him and his teams, Pascal's going to be a problem. He's going to be a problem for people.
So don't tell me you don't care. And kudos to Bobby for finishing the question. Very good job, Bobby. Bobby, you can jump in on this Pacers trade, or if you got something game related, we can circle back to Siakam. We just jumped on it now.
Well, I'll go right off what you were talking about there. Got that response from him pregame, and then postgame, he comes in and says, "Don't ask me about Wembanyama. I don't care." It's like, all right.
He said it to you?
No, he said it to everybody.
Oh.
So maybe that was stemming from the Siakam question that he didn't like, but again, Joe's done a much better job.
Ask him about.
Joe's done a much better job with this year, but obviously not today. People care what the coach thinks about stuff going on around the league, rules. He certainly talked about officiating more in recent weeks, which is something he probably didn't do last year. But this is a very unique, compelling player for the sport of basketball right now coming in. And you just say, I don't care. I mean, all right, I guess, but at least let someone ask the question and say that.
Is he trying to be funny or something?
No, he doesn't care. I truly believe that. So it is what it is. I thought he was fun to watch tonight. That first quarter was electric. We talked a little bit after the game. I don't know if you guys played some of the sound, but had a pretty good point about what makes the Celtics so good. And obviously he's having a tough time with the losing there in San Antonio this year. I mean, it's pretty shocking how bad they are. I didn't think they were going to be good this year, but they are. Tatum had this comment earlier about how the Pistons aren't the worst team in the league. There's some other teams down at the bottom that are worse than them. And
he's right.
I think the Spurs are worse than the Pistons.
He's right.
I mean, this team just has. They got some good players, Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell. Some of the young guys might round out there, and of course Wembanyama. But this is pretty much what he's been this year. I will say though, as I tweeted out and as I texted to you guys, 4-1, Luke beat Victor in the steals and blocks. So Victor might have thrown down that impressive dunk over him, but on the stat sheet, I think Luke got him.
Wait, what about the 20 points and 10 rebounds? We're just not going to count those. We're only counting
on the stat sheet, John.
He had 5 rebounds. Kornet had 8.
What?
Wembanyama had 5.
Oh, sorry. We were doing the averages. So, but the 27 points were no good?
No, they were good. But he took 19 shots.
Yeah.
How many would Luke have scored if he took?
But he made 10 of them. That's a good percentage.
It is how
many? Bobby's asking.
Luke only took. What did Luke take? 3 for 5. So 19 would have been what?
Is this a legit conversation we're having?
5 by 3.
No, it's not.
11.
It's not.
So
Bobby's 23.
Bobby's giving the edge to Luke tonight. Okay. He's giving the edge to Luke.
Who had the edge? Who would you give it to?
Well, let's put it this way. Jeremy Socon for San Antonio made 2 buckets.
All right,
7.
hit the clip.
Guess who made the 2 buckets on?
Yeah, no, they were
San
putting him on
Antonio
his
went away
face.
from the one guy other than Wemby who was scoring, and that guy was
It's a
scoring
problem.
at the start of the game.
They're putting Luka in space more often. I'm sure it's something they're forced to do, especially with the double bigs out there. But it doesn't go well. But again, spot start tonight, 2 guys down. He gave you a pretty good game.
Sherrod warned us about this.
Yes.
When Sherrod came on, he's like, I don't want this to turn into when Bobby gets here, how Kornet matched up with Wemby.
He wasn't that good. He was not that good tonight, Bobby. He did not suck, but he wasn't that good. We've
this
spent
close
about
to a tank.
I mean, your third center gave you 6, 9, 4, 1, and 3. In a
against
spot start.
arguably the worst team in the NBA that didn't have a real
against the rookie of the year center.
Bobby, you cannot be serious. You can't be serious thinking that he
Did you expect this from him tonight? This is a pleasantly surprising performance.
From Wemby or Luke?
From Luke.
Luke scoring when Wemby wasn't around. Yeah, I think he can do that. Yes, he can score when Wemby's not around. Luke can score. against a team that does not have a true center. They were playing Jeremy at center, and Jeremy was, like I said, Jeremy Socon was 2 for 9, and his 2 buckets were against Luke in the first quarter. So, sorry.
Yeah, no, this is your third center. This is pretty good stuff out of a third center.
Where's the Tangway clip? I'm trying to find it.
No, we're not taking
No.
Bobby, I got to tell you something because I'm gonna give you a heads up. I'm not gonna hit you with it. The chat got really into you.
Deep dive
Into you and the basketball clips on your YouTube channel.
Yeah, no, that's something that goes way back. That was a tough game for me, but again, that was 8 years ago, so I've come a long way since then.
Okay.
Well, let's see.
Can we play it?
If you want.
Only if you want.
Let's see how far he's come.
Let's do it.
Clipped it. I think Amit clipped it.
Okay.
Now, I don't really know what to expect from Jay King. I mean, I know he likes to talk a big game.
This
I
is
know
a
a lot of people
Bobby.
on Twitter gave me their scouting reports, but I got to get a nice feel
Got a
from
goatee
early on.
going on
I don't
here.
think he's ready for me. I take a lot of pride in my pickup game. They say I'm a mix of Tyler Zeller and Brandon Bass, somewhere in between there. So, I'm really going to be bringing it on the offensive boards. He better box me out real good. A lot of people pick this guy, but I don't think they know what to expect. We'll see. Don't really know where we are right now.
Look at the sideburn.
Definitely Boston.
No, he does not have the headband on.
I might be only good for about 10 minutes.
Making an appearance here.
Oh, look at that. Getting into the body.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Okay. Good board. Shades of Luke right there.
Bobby.
Oh boy.
Fade away.
Back to the basket game. Oh, this is a hook. Oh, he picked up his dribble.
And one.
Okay. Shoot the 3. Oh.
Whoa.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
What happened?
Amit.
That was the end of the clip.
Just broke
right
the
there.
internet.
We'll leave it
Okay,
there.
Hey.
We'll leave it at
And
that.
It ended on a high note.
Just to be accurate, because I am a reporter, it didn't go well from there. But again,
That way the video stopped.
yeah, it did finish 21-4 in favor of Jay, who, of course, was a Division III college basketball player. So I'll give myself
wonder
some
how
slack
you two-
there.
Who's the
And 8
shooter?
years
Jay's
ago,
the
Jimmy,
shooter.
I've come a long way.
I wonder how you two would fare in a rematch. That's what I want to see, a rematch.
I think it'd be good. Maybe we could get some money for charity or something.
I love it.
Okay. Luke's
Let's
Lemon
see where
Square.
Jay's game's gone in 8 years.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Let's see who's still got it.
Are you kidding?
Bobby's in the gym.
Bobby's in his. Bobby's only 19. Okay, he's in his
Right.
athletic prime.
Now I'm
Okay,
25.
I know
You
that's the
it's
joke.
a whole
It's the
different
joke.
game.
I'm gonna put. I would bet that score would be at least 2 to
How
3
did
times
you even
closer,
know
if not
Jay
Bobby. Yeah.
8 years ago? How did that even happen?
I'll take
Some
Bobby.
trash talk, on Twitter, and we said, let's just get out there, let's film it. My friend Brandon filmed it. Sure, shout out to
He
him.
humbled you. He humbled you.
Yeah,
I
it was
guess.
tough. You know what it was? I defended decently, and I had
Did
a little
you?
more stamina out there, but I couldn't make a shot, and my shooting was so bad back then. So I just kept
How-
one-on-one was tough.
How's your
you know,
how would you say your ball handling is now, or like dribbling?
much better, much better. That's still not a strength of
Jimmy
mine,
is like
though.
trolling you with that.
But
You see
Jimmy,
that?
this is a
You
guy who
didn't even
took
get the-
27 shots in a rec league game. He obviously is comfortable letting it fly.
Yeah, that's true. We have the infamous
was-
box score from this summer.
That was a good game for me. I'm also I haven't played since November, dealing with some knee pain, but I'm about to
Honestly,
get back out there
nothing-
soon.
Nothing but respect for Bobby here. Let's
Absolutely.
let's
You
jump
did kind of
ahead.
remind me of Kuzi the way he
My
was
teammate.
kind of the one hand behind the back. A little bit.
Let's jump ahead. The Celtics do take on the Nuggets. Bobby, this is a lot of people's team, but put it at the beginning of the year. before the Celtics made their final trades, it was still kind of like, I don't know, are they good enough for Denver? Then they swung that last trade and beat Holiday, and you were still a little dubious. After watching both teams for half a season now, like, do you think the Nuggets are still warming up and there's a couple other gears there? And like, if you just had to assess these two teams right now, who's the favorite? If you still think the Nuggets are the team who's possibly going to come out of the West, even though I know Minnesota and OKC are technically have better records right now, but I still think Denver's coming. Where do you put them right now?
I think they deserve to have that favorite status coming off what
Still?
they did last year. I mean, it's ridiculous, especially what Jokic is doing right now. And you can give Tatum a lot of credit for his strides this year. But Jokic, beyond the ridiculous production in every area each night, and the clutch is just prone to, as he did a couple weeks ago against Golden State, toss up a shot from half court and just bank it in. Like, the guy's just ridiculous. He's, and I love Giannis. I love Embiid. I love some of these other guys. And I know Embiid beat him the other night. But Jokic is the best player in the league by far right now. And that's going to be challenging. The Celtics are at home. They should be at full strength. So that's going to be a significant advantage for them. They probably have the better all-around team. So I'm just about there, especially if they win this game, Jimmy, to saying that if the Celtics are at full strength, they're going to win the championship this year. But I'm not going to pull everything from this game. You want to see them out in Denver. You want to eventually see them in the finals and just see how that goes, because usually the best player in a series wins that series. So it's going to be a challenge, especially since I feel like they're really going to stress the Celtics defense, John. We've seen how it's gone this year. They've put Holiday on centers. They've put Porzingis on a weaker offensive player. But I don't know how Jrue's going to fare against Jokic. And I don't know where you not hide Porzingis, but you're not going to be able to play off anyone in that starting lineup. KCP, Gordon, probably the two main candidates. I'm very interested to see how these two teams scheme against each other, because obviously Porzingis is going to be a load for Jokic to cover too.
Yeah, but everybody is. That's the whole thing. It's like, I never really get super concerned with that. Like, who's going to stop Embiid? Nobody on the planet. Nobody stops Embiid. Like, Jokic is one of one. Like, I just don't think you've got guys. What you do have with the Celtics is a lot of bodies, and honestly, you're going to see Holiday on Jokic. I think.
I think that's how they'll start.
Here. Yeah. I think that's how they'll start, and I think that's kind of what you're going to get there. Sure, you miss.
Would you consider starting Horford?
No, stop, never. Just no. It's like I said, and not because it's not a disrespectful way. The Celtics are good enough to make teams have to worry about them. They do not need to. Inferior teams adjust because they can't handle what good teams throw at them. Right. Good teams just play and just play you straight up. Obviously, you're going to do some things and throw in some wrinkles, and your bench personnel and your rotations might be a little bit different. And there's certain lineups where you're going to try to favor double big a little bit more, and there's certain where you're just not going to do it. So, yeah, that's going to be the game planning. But you got the best starting five in basketball. You're just going to play the best starting five in basketball and make the Nuggets figure out how they're going to stop all of your guys, which is a bigger problem than you stopping just one guy. Not that the Nuggets don't have others, but I'm just never in favor of doing that unless it's like, crappy teams, Ivy League teams go zone against the big schools where they know they can't play those guys, or you try gimmicks or try tricks and this and that. The Celtics don't need to resort to anything. They just play straight up and just kind of let the chips fall.
You might have to adjust mid-game then if that Holiday.
Yeah, I mean that's the name of the game.
You do go that double big look. What do you think, Jimmy?
What do I think?
He wasn't listening to anything. Sherrod,
dog. That's what
I was listening. I don't know. Well, how they can defend Jokic?
Nah, whatever.
I agreed with Holiday starting on him.
Jimmy just played the YouTube back a few seconds.
It's 11:01 and Jimmy's officially getting sleepy. Okay,
no, I was cruising the chat. The chat's been
come on, you got a whole Patriots segment here coming up.
Yeah, you got we haven't done Siakam or Mayo yet.
I'm willing to talk about those topics right now.
Okay, so we'll get back to you, Sherrod. How are you liking the Celtics Nuggets matchup tomorrow?
I
mean Friday rather. Sorry.
Yeah, Friday. Celtics should win that. They're at full strength. They'll have all the competent players. I prefer Al coming off the bench just because I think in this particular matchup, I think he's better suited to help the Celtics in a reserve role. And I'm curious. We talk about Porzingis and just the challenges he might have, but remember they got to defend him too. And last I checked, they don't have too many guys that have the DNA to necessarily defend a 7'2" shooter who can also score in a post. I think Gordon will probably get that first crack at Porzingis, and he's been a good defender. I don't know about great. And KCP has been, all NBA caliber defender this year. So it'll be a good game, but I expect the Celtics to win.
If they blow Denver, and again, it's just one game, but if they blow Denver away the way they have some of these teams, and they've now led, I don't know if you threw this out there, John, eight games over their last 17 here. They've led by 30, including tonight.
I was trying to remember it because I know you sent it to us, but that's the stat. Yes.
Yeah. If they do something like that to Denver, it's like, all right, cancel Christmas. All bets are off here. This is the prohibitive NBA favorite here, given some of the wins they've racked off. Like, of course, Kawhi down that blowout win against the Clippers a couple weeks ago. So this is a big one. I'm really looking forward to this
Christmas,
one.
Though. I don't want to have to cancel Christmas if they win by that.
Why is Christmas?
I'm glad you caught that one.
Back to my dog.
Thanasis Manning makes the bracket.
It makes the bracket. It's got to make the bracket.
Oh, shoot. Bobby, I'll ask you this because there was a big trade between Jimmy's guys and your guys. Okay.
Yeah, I think we got the better end of it.
Oh,
Bobby.
yeah. I didn't get to send out a tweet, Jimmy, but we were talking the other night, John. Jimmy asked if I'm going to stick with the Raptors now after the Siakam trade. And
Bobby called the rebuild.
So I'll ask you this. Talking about the Raptors and their prospects after dumping one of their better players is like spending time talking about Luke and against Wemby.
Hey, Luke's more important.
Well, let's talk about the thing that the thing. Are the Pacers in the top? Have the Pacers joined
top three
with this trade? Joined the Bucks, Celtics, and Sixers in the clear-cut top four? I mean, crap, you can talk about Miami as well, but if it felt like it was a three-horse race with Miami always lurking because they're scary as shit and they'll upset somebody but probably not make it to the finals. But like, are the Pacers firmly in that top three group or still on the outside looking in?
I think they're top three. I put them above the Sixers.
Really?
What?
Yeah, I do. I said
Philly
it.
just beat Denver. They've beaten you. They've beaten all the top teams in the league.
They beat you, Jimmy.
They haven't beaten me, Bobby. I'm right here. No, listen.
Your ass.
Philly's got the second highest point differential to the
relax.
Celtics.
It's not a knock on Philly. I think Philly's still very good, but if I have to choose between the two, I think Siakam's just what this Philly team needs. And
I think Philly's more serious than Milwaukee, honestly, but that's just me.
It's close,
fine.
right?
And fine, okay. Well, then they're.
But are they in the convo? I think the Celtics
are smoked Milwaukee this year.
I think the Celtics are the one, honestly.
I think the Celtics are on the one, and I think after that, clearly you can have a debate on 2, 3, 4 here.
Are they there? Are they in that? Are they in that pack now, Bobby?
Yeah.
Jimmy says yes. Bobby.
No, I got to see
Still
the
no.
defense improve. We've seen a lot of teams.
How did
like
they
this.
make that trade without trading Mathurin or any of their other guys there? That's what blows my mind.
Because I think they're going to do the Holiday that Portland did. They're going to flip Brown for a couple more first-round picks and come out of it with 4 or 5 here. They come out with 3 in this deal,
but I don't know how the Pacers got away without having to give Nebhart or Mathurin in this
1 or
deal.
2. I'm sure they pushed for it.
Picks.
I'm just amazed they did it. Yeah.
Yeah, they went with 3 picks. I think one of them's from another team. So they trade 2 of their own here. Near term, too. I think one of theirs is their pick this year, which won't be amazing. Probably lottery, but this is a really good fit for Indiana. I'm not sure it solves all their defensive issues. Certainly adds some length, certainly solidifies the 4, which has been a position of weakness for them. And you keep the depth, as you mentioned there, John. But I just got to see their defense is getting better. In that Celtics mini-series, I thought it was pretty solid. They defend a weird way in terms of giving up the basket and taking away the threes.
Which is to not defend, right? Yeah. Exactly, right.
So, most teams do the opposite of that. But I like this team a lot, Jimmy. But we've seen a lot of teams over the years, and you can throw out some examples, Sherrod. I'm thinking of like the Goran Dragic Suns and the Kings even last year. Like some of these teams that have been the highest scoring teams in the league in any given season don't end up being big factors in the playoffs.
I mean, you go back and look at those Donnie Nelson teams in Dallas that were always up there scoring, and those Golden State teams pre-Steph Curry that were running up a billion points and losing by 7 almost, every night. You have to have some type of balance between your ability to score and your ability to at least contest shots. And Indiana is getting better, and I think Pascal only speeds that.
Well, they're a tough
improvement up.
matchup for the Celtics.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
I mean,
but the Celtics have been able to win a lot of these games too.
Yeah, but I think Pascal gives them a dimension that is going to make them a lot better. Like I see them as a top 3, maybe at worst top 4 team in the East now. They're either 3rd or 4th. I think I'm leaning more towards 3.
Interesting.
Okay.
They play hard. I mean, stats aside, guys, this Indy team shows that when, look at them, what they did in the bubble. They show up to big games. I think they have a good match of veterans and young guys, and especially Siakam they just traded for he's their second best player now, just like that. So, in my opinion, they're a completely different team. So, yeah, I put them right up there with Milwaukee and Philly. Now, in a 7-game series, I don't think anyone can say with certainty which team would win that series right now. I mean, we got to see how Siakam fits in and everything, but they have half the year to get situated and to get comfortable with adding a guy like that to their roster. I think he fits what they're doing perfectly. I mean, he's the type of guy that's going to, score from all over. He's having a good season. I mean, I think obviously his outside shot's off. He's hovering around 30%, which isn't anywhere where you want to be, his 3-point shot. But aside from that, I mean, they just added a huge, huge piece. I mean, before the trade, what are they like 6 in the standings right now? Something like that. So it's a huge trade for them. I think that they're
this is their first year on the scene essentially here, and usually you make the playoffs that year and lose round 1. So if they make it to round 2, which is probably where the Celtics would see them, maybe push them a little bit. But do any of us really think they can beat the Celtics?
Do you want to see them or Miami in round 2? That
you don't want to.
You're going to see someone tough in round 2.
Yeah, I mean, yuck.
There's no doubt about it.
I don't think you ever want to see
Miami, Philly,
somebody bad.
New York.
Indy. You don't want to see India if you're
It's going to be a good team. Anyway,
I would take New York. I mean, dude, if Celtics get New York, that should be easy pickings.
Yeah. No, I actually feel the opposite. I think New York plays you tougher than Indy does.
No.
Especially if Mitchell Robinson comes back. I don't know if you guys saw it, but the Knicks put in a disabled player exception on him.
Yeah.
And normally that's just like, all right, here you go. But they said no, which means the NBA was certain that he's coming back this year.
I don't think the Knicks have enough in the tank. I really don't.
Maybe not.
They just had OG, who might be the put it this way: the Pacers actually tried to trade for OG.
They had to give up. They had to give up guys to get him, Bobby.
I think they're better. I think both those teams got better. I think everything got tighter in the middle. It went from a 3-team race to 6 teams. I think right now, when you're factoring in Miami with Butler back, that are tough. The East is tough.
Cleveland.
East is tough.
So how would you answer this question, John?
I don't know where I have the Pacers. All I'm saying is I'm not ready to write them off just because they weren't in the club to start the season.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very easy to default to the teams that you're just used to saying, like, this is the cream of the crop. I absolutely think that Indiana could beat Milwaukee and or Philly in a 7-game series. Would not shock me at all. Like, at all. I still think the Celtics are able to handle them and figure them out. But they would give them
it'd be challenging.
They'd give them fits, and there'd be a couple games where the Pacers just shoot the friggin' lights out, and the Celtics are cold, and it's just going to be like, nope, not our night tonight. But I absolutely think they can beat every team in the East in a 7-game series, so nothing would surprise me. I do not think it's not their time yet just because they haven't been there yet. It's a really good team.
Think about it like this.
It is.
If it's between Cavs, Heat, and Pacers in the first round, if the Pacers are playing either the Cavs or the Heat in the first round, who are you going to take in that series? Because that's your 4, 5, 6 seeds right now. I'm taking the Pacers over those 2 teams. And now all of a sudden, if you've got Celtics versus Pacers in round 2, Bobby. So that's a very realistic possibility is that you see the Pacers in the second round. I can easily see them getting out of the first round this year as a 4 or 5 seed.
Yep.
I think they'll get out of the first
And
round.
and a good coach. They got a lot of things going for them. I like them a lot. We're past the hour mark. I did tell Jimmy he can have his Gerard Mayo moment.
Well, I want to have a little combo, yeah.
You have your Gerard Mayo moment. Bobby Manning has a job to do, and it does not involve the Pacers. And if he wants to recuse himself here, I'm not gonna say he's got to stick around. And if I can get a graphic here, we're gonna talk Mayo for a split second. If you're still in the room, go ahead, Jimmy.
Well, I mean, is Bobby gonna hang around for this?
I don't know. Maybe if you say something provocative.
Well, listen. I mean,
Yeah, I'll listen.
well,
I'll hang
Facts,
up and
my
listen.
dog. Facts,
as
my
everybody
dog.
knows, it was Mayo's intro press conference today. I thought it's the beginning of a new era here in New England. I thought it was refreshing. I don't think it was anything that I don't think he said a whole lot that really blew anybody's minds. Obviously, we're very far away from the team, front office getting put together and the coaching staff getting put together. There's a lot of unknowns, but I think if you are unfamiliar with Mayo, I think one of the things that you should know today is that he's got a lot of leadership qualities. Smart guy, knows how to lead a locker room, has been the leader as a player for many, many years. Captain, wore the dot, obviously understands, great understanding for defense. And I think obviously there's a clip of Brady calling him Gerard Belichick from years ago. I think there's a lot of things that Mayo has taken from Belichick over the years that he's going to carry over with him. The good things. Now, the things he's not going to take with him is, I think, Belichick's inability to, at this point in his life, relate to the younger players and be able to maybe get through to guys on more than just X's and O's. Belichick, great coach, don't get me wrong, obviously. But I think it's at the point now where there's a disconnect between him and a lot of players. And I think a lot of younger generation players, you can't coach the same way you could coach the, McGinnis, Brewskis, Ted Johnsons, those era guys, all the way up to the Mayos and the McCourties. There's a few guys and Slaters that you could coach that way, but they're becoming few and far between now. So I think Mayo understands that. He has the bridge from sort of like the past to the present here. And I think there's a lot of respect that he's going to have in the locker room. Now, the big concern and issue moving forward is who's going to be in charge of player, I guess, scouting and the draft coming up. They have a few months.
And who's going to find your damn quarterback?
Who's going to find your quarterback? Who's going to put the offense together? Because Mayo, you can say all you want about him, but we have no idea until we see it how it's going to go in terms of his coaching abilities, especially on the offensive end. So I don't have as much concern about the defensive side of the football, but as a guy that's, in Mayo, that's, never had anything to do with the offense other than watching film of it and trying to figure out how to defend it. He's going to need to find a really strong staff on the offensive side of things, whether it's an offensive coordinator, all the way down to quarterbacks coach, tight end, all the way down the line. He's going to have guys that are on their P's and Q's because he's not going to, especially in his first year, have a whole lot of knowledge on that side of the ball. Now, they don't need to go out and win 10 games next year. No one expects them to, but you want to see progress. And if you're going to draft a quarterback, which a lot of people think they might, you better know what the hell you're doing. You better put the quarterback in a good position. I'm not saying he needs to start week 1, but you cannot put a quarterback room together. And I thought this was the most damning thing about Belichick this year. One of the worst quarterback rooms I've ever seen in my life in the NFL, in the history. Putting Mac and Zappy in the same room, no veteran presence, put an offensive quarter in there that wasn't allowed to take anybody with them, and basically saying, throwing you guys to the wolves. That can't happen moving forward.
Could it be McDaniels?
I don't know. That's a name that people keep throwing out there just because it's a name that everybody knows. I'm not necessarily.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the right thing. I thought that when they got rid of Belichick, everybody would be gone and we wouldn't be talking about, other Belichicks and O'Brien and McDaniels and these other front office names that keep popping up. I thought it would be a clean house situation. It's obviously not.
Even Mayo?
No, not Mayo. No, aside from Mayo, I thought they'd keep Mayo and they'd let Mayo pick, a couple guys. Maybe they'd obviously let him pick his staff, but I didn't think that there'd be this many familiar faces and names sticking around. And I don't know if McDaniels, again, I don't know what their options are going to be for OC. People aren't going to be banging down the doors to be offensive coordinator here. I don't know what their options are. Maybe they think that he's their best option. I think McDaniels is I think I didn't like the way it went for him in Las Vegas. I would be very hesitant to just bring him on after the way things went for him there. So I'm not really on board with that. But I don't have an answer on who they should have at OC. I want to see some interview, though. Does this team interview John, or is it every other team in the NFL interview, but not them? That's kind of where I'm at with the whole Patriots situation right now. But I will say this: I'm inching my way back towards being with the Patriots.
The healing process has begun for Jimmy.
Healing process has begun. It's been 4 years. I've completely turned a blind eye to them.
Yeah.
I'm not fully back.
Bobby,
I need to see some, but I am on the Mayo train though. I want
Bobby, thoughts?
Clear.
I don't know what to think yet. I mean, my big picture analysis here is I want to see them shore up the offensive line with the top pick. I want to see them bring in a veteran quarterback. There should not be a rookie.
Line at 3?
Yes. I think that's the best bet of hitting there, isn't it?
So here's the thing.
Apparently, it's a deep O-line draft.
And then you get a veteran quarterback.
The best bet is to not draft a quarterback because quarterbacks, the third best quarterback taken in the draft, the hit rate's going to be like 25%. So,
especially on a bad team that doesn't have an offensive line.
Your best bet is to take a non-quarterback that high because the chances of those players hitting is very high. But your need for a quarterback is so great that it almost doesn't matter if you hit a home run with your third pick if you have no quarterback. So if you're the Patriots, you have to take a swing.
You have to.
There's the rub.
I don't know.
You may not.
That was the argument for taking Mac. Just take a guy.
It wasn't, but he was 15th and he was the 5th quarterback taken. Those guys don't hit. So you took him because you had to. But again, it's not, the point is that you have to take if you don't get up this high this often, and if you don't take a shot, your chances of finding your guy are very, very, very slim.
But what if you get the best tackle in the league out of this?
Because it doesn't matter if you don't have a quarterback. You're stuck. You're not
going to get everybody in 1 year.
You have very few.
But there are some good teams with okay quarterbacks now who have great lines.
There are not.
The Lions?
Huh? The Lions are fine, but at the end of the day, those teams, and they're great in a lot of different places. None of those teams are going to win it.
Goff was the high pick, though, right?
Yeah.
And Goff was one of the. But
Goff was like a first rounder.
And Goff was number 1 overall pick, but yes, he's fine. You know, he was a reclamation process when he got to Detroit.
What if they like Bo Nix and they said, "Oh, we can wait on, but we can take Bo Nix."
That's what I'm saying, Jimmy. Take a guy later.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's very likely that you're going to the likelihood of hitting is very small, very, very, very small late, very small. So again, if you have 3 guys, if you have a draft class where you have 3 guys that many people are saying might have gone number 1 in other years and really belong up there, fine. When you're reaching for the 20th best player at quarterback at number 5 or 6, that's where you end up getting. But some people like Jaden Daniels better than Caleb Williams. If he's there at 3 and you need a quarterback, you got to take a quarterback. But
it'll be tough to pass up. But then you just throw him into the fire.
It doesn't matter. You got to get a quarterback. You got to get a quarterback first. Nothing else matters. But I agree with you, Bobby. O-line over receivers is the next thing.
Receivers
if you don't protect your quarterback, you'll ruin him for life.
But Harrison's
receivers are useless without line.
Yeah,
receivers are useless without good line play.
You'll ruin him for life.
You'll ruin who for life?
You get a quarterback in here and you have him running for his life in year 1. You
can draft Daniels and not even play him in year 1. I mean, you don't need to
play him behind Zappy.
Well, no, go sign a veteran quarterback. There are plenty of them out there. They just signed freaking Flacco.
Yeah.
Off the streets, and he did fine until he didn't. But point being is, you don't need to just because you draft a guy at the beginning of the first doesn't mean you have to play.
Draft conversation is going to be an interesting one. Sherrod Mayo was on with Burton at All Access, and he strongly hinted that they're drafting a quarterback at 3. Whether that's gamesmanship or not, I don't know. Very quickly on today's press conference, I'm going to double up on what Jimmy said, and we're going to wrap. With final thoughts here. Anybody else wants to add on it? Things I like: Sherrod Mayo. I like Sherrod Mayo. Personally, right. I think Sherrod Mayo is an awesome guy. I think he's one of the smartest guys around. He's one of the funniest, most engaging guys. And I like the idea.
Joe Mazzulla today commented on him saying he was very relationship based. That's a big thing he saw.
He's a young guy, and he's just so yes, it'll be anti-Bill in that way. Honestly, strategically, I don't think you'll ever see Bill Belichick's match again in the NFL in terms of being able to just break down games and strategies and all of those things. So it's going to be hard for him to live up to that aspect of it, but he's got the room and I think he's going to be great. But things I don't like:
As Jimmy said, they didn't interview a single person. The bigger need was having a strong personnel person, and they're not going to go out there and bring in anybody. I do not like institutional thinking. I do not like when you just this notion of continuity for continuity's sake. I think you should absolutely open your doors to outside perspectives. This was the knock on Belichick to begin with. Everything was homegrown. It was all his guys that he brought in, raised up from pups, got them to be to the point where they were competent. They all left. He brought up the new wave. They weren't as good. It was all his people. Everybody learned one way. And I hate the idea that like that's the only way. I think that's insane. You literally showed Belichick the door because he refused to be more collaborative and open and accept new and outside ideas. You even brought in a friend of his in Bill O'Brien, a guy who we worked with before, and he didn't give him any opportunity to succeed with personnel or with his own assistants. Right. So I think it's insane to think that that's the right thing. And third, we said this on the text thread, I think Kraft's a little high on his own supply here with the notion of what the Patriot Way is. It has nothing to do with Gillette Stadium or wearing that uniform or anything that ownership has done, respectfully. The Patriot Way is Brady, Belichick, and 20 years of unprecedented success in those 6 friggin' banners that are hanging there. Anything beyond that is nothing. It doesn't mean anything. Was there continuity from the 80s Celtics because Chris Ford was the coach and ML Carr was the GM?
Different sport, though,
no,
John.
It doesn't matter, though.
Hell
just
no.
because those guys wore green doesn't mean it has anything to do with Larry Bird and those guys just curb stomping teams in the 80s. The Patriot Way is about Bill and Brady. They're gone. There's no such thing as continuity. So why keep things in-house? What are you preserving here? The thing that was great is gone forever.
Did you have better options elsewhere, though?
It doesn't. Let's find out. How do you know? They decided without even talking to people. That blows my mind. Second, there's not at the press conference, there wasn't a single mention of what you're going to do with the OC, what you're going to do with the assistants.
That was concerning.
There's no plan. So the whole thing,
when he got asked about the offensive philosophy, it was all leadership.
They don't even know because the worst thing's going to happen here is they think they're asking some people to come back. Belichick's going to get a job in a week, and they're all going to leave. And then they're going to be like, continuity, you're out of here. Now you got to go find people. Mayo's probably known he's had this job for 8 weeks. He doesn't have his whole staff in place already. That's insane to me.
Well, actually, I was going to say I'm surprised. I wasn't stunned that he didn't have a bunch of announcements, John. But I mean, yeah, I think
I fully expected him to have at least half ready to roll out. Boom, 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 boom.
Man, maybe it'll come, but
they're still asking guys if they think they're pretty. Like, hey, do you want to maybe get a soda? And like, these guys are like, I don't know, I'm gonna wait for a little bit. Like they're asking people to join them, and they're like, maybe. I don't know.
Well, it's hard. I mean,
and
even the coach, I love it.
It's not a good situation.
Go for a pop,
players,
I don't know.
It's not again I'm sure some of these younger guys or guys that are it's to be seen as a promotion would jump at the opportunity, but for an established coach or whoever around the league, it's not that great of a situation here in New England right now. So they're not champing at the bit to jump aboard. New coach, a roster that's in flux for sure, to say the least. No quarterback, a couple of key defensive players that. Not sure if like Duggar, for example. I mean, they've got some pieces, but are those guys going to be back? We don't know yet. So there's a lot of question marks. And again,
full scale rebuild.
I think Patriots fans need to. I'm sure they do, but ones who don't, hopefully, will soon understand that this isn't going to just get turned around. Like, it's not. And
how
the
Jonathan Kraft thing is fishy as hell. Fishy as hell.
Do you think so?
Yes.
I wasn't sure about that.
Give me a break. You're not there for this. There was a other Kraft business emergency. Bigger than the Patriots, like
it seems strange, but I don't know why would they announce it?
Rumors swirling that he's going to be Jerry Jones light around the Patriots and have more personnel. The reason they're not hiring a GM is maybe Jonathan's going to be more involved in personnel, which is to say, you guys do the work, and I'll say, go get the quarterback, go get the receiver. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but the questions about what his role would be. You didn't get a chance to ask it because he conveniently wasn't there. That's weird to me. He planned to be there. He was announced that he was going to be there. And then, he just all of a sudden didn't show up.
That's why I think it was weird. Yeah, I feel like they just wouldn't have announced him to be there to
Third
begin
head
with, 'cause
coach in
now
31 years, first black head coach in team history. The Bill Belichick successor. And Jonathan Kraft wasn't at the press conference. He wasn't at Bill's press conference last week announcing the firing either. So the whole thing is odd, you know?
it is odd. And
It's got
I hope I'm
revolution
wrong.
matters, John.
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong on this, but I haven't been wrong in a while. I feel like the pitchforks are going to be out for the Crafts in the next.
I think
few
so,
years.
too.
I mean, it's
Maybe
on
I'm
them
wrong,
now, right?
but
There's no one else to
he's
blame.
next. They're not. I think Robert Kraft, again, everything he's done for the organization, great. He's at an age now where he probably should and has to take a bit of a step back. And Jonathan is not probably the guy that people are gonna love. I'm getting like I'm getting Mark Davis
They
vibes.
got to hire
I'm getting
GM.
Mark Davis vibes.
I'm a little concerned.
Anyway, I'm out, guys.
All right, we're gonna wrap it as well, but I find some of it concerning, and it's not an anti. I think Gerard Mayo is great. I just think they have a million needs beyond the head coach, and a lot of them have to do with who's going to run the organization. And right now, the answer is no one, or maybe Jonathan. I don't know, or just collectively. Does that always work? Multiple bosses.
No, there's no like direction. It feels like right now. It feels like every day it's like, what should we do? Who like there's
Talk to someone.
there's too
Please
many
interview a
cooks in the
single
kitchen right
person,
now.
just one person for one job. You have every job open.
Right, exactly.
Interview one person.
Post
the job.
It's like they've never been in this situation before. It feels right.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like everything's
We're
new
back
to them.
Friday. Denver Nuggets should be super, super fun. The crew will be back. Joe Sway will be down at the Garden as well. So we should have everybody full house loaded up here, wrapping this up. And again, Patriots thoughts. Yeah, there might be some from time to time. We're going to sneak in and out, but we will have a better
hour 20 in. Give us a break.
we will have a better game next time to talk about as opposed to what happened tonight. And we still went long enough here. Thank you especially to Bobby and Jay King for providing much of the night's entertainment.
Everybody tweet Jay King and just everybody tweet
Jay King like, I can't believe Bobby kicked your ass.
Yeah, you won't rematch Bobby. Say everyone tweet him and say, we heard that you won't rematch Bobby in basketball.
But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks for Bobby for being a good sport. And obviously the guys in the chat keeping it real here and keeping it active and keeping us on our toes and making us laugh. We appreciate it all. So we'll see you guys on Friday.